Alright, 7.7 sales tax and discount. First of all, go ahead and hit pause and write this down. Alright, sales tax and is an additional amount of money charged on items people buy. For example, 7% sales tax is what it is in the state of Indiana. Going to the dollar store, if you've been to the dollar store, you've realized that you're not just going to pay $1. It's actually going to be $1.07 because of the 7% sales tax. So it's basically 7 cents on every dollar. And the total cost is the regular price plus the sales tax. So you're going to add what that amount is onto the regular price. Now, as far as the discount, that's the amount by which the regular price of an item is reduced. Okay, so you're going to take the total cost, regular price, minus the discount. So take the regular original price and you're going to subtract it. That's going to give you that actual amount. For example, finding the sales tax. It says a DVD player costs $140 and the sales tax is 5.75%. What is the total cost of the DVD player? Well, there's two different methods you can use. Method one is by taking $140 times the percent, which, as we've said before, you have to convert that to a decimal point. So convert that by, again, moving the decimal over 2 places to the left, or dividing it basically by 100 to get 575 10,000ths, which then equals $8.05. Now, many times it doesn't just work out to be this, a whole number, or at least to the nearest penny. So you'd have to round it always to the nearest cent, which is the hundredths place value. So do make certain that you do that. And the total cost then is going to be that $140, and you're going to add it, because we are dealing with sales tax, to the 140, so plus $8.05, which equals $148.05. Method two is by saying, all right, the $140, that's 100% of the price. We are needing to add 5 7/75% onto it. We're paying that in addition to the 100% of the $140. So if you do that, you add those two percentages together, you get 105 7/75%. That's what you're actually paying for the item. So you can just simply take, since the 100% represents $140 times the 105%, but you got to write it as a decimal point. So again, you're moving it over 2 places. Okay, so it's 1.0575, which is exactly what we had up here. And multiply that together and you go directly to that price. Okay, doesn't matter which method you use. This is a pretty simplified method, though. I like using this. It's a little bit quicker, but sometimes a little more difficult to understand too. So whichever method you prefer is perfectly fine. Now for a discount, it says a boogie board that has a regular price of $69 is on sale at a 35% discount. What is the sale price of the board? Well, method one, simply, again, you're doing the same thing. What is 35% of $69? So you multiply them, and you change that again to a decimal, and you get $24.15. Total cost is $69, and you're going to subtract due to the fact that we are discounting it of $24.15, and you get $44.85. Method two is the $69 is the 100%, and 35%, okay, is what you're subtracting from that 100%. So what you're actually going to pay is only 65% of $69. That's how we get $44.85. Okay, so when you're dealing with discounts, again, you're just subtracting that from the actual 100%. So you're only going to pay the percent that's left over of the $69. So let's try some. Go ahead and hit pause and you can solve this. Alright, now what is the total cost of a sweatshirt if the regular price is $42 and the sale price is 5.5%? Method one simply states that you're going to take $42 and you're going to multiply it by the percent, which you've got to make into a decimal, so 0 or 0.055 equals, and you plug that in your calculator, and it is, oops, $2.31. Now that it is against sales tax, you're going to take that $42, add the $2.31, and you get a total of $44.31. Method 2 is simply saying, all right, $42 is that 100%, okay, and you're going to add the 5.5% to it. So you're basically getting 105.5%. So we're going to take $42 times 1.055 equals, and when you plug that in your calculator, you will see you do get $44.31. Questions, write it down, and certainly discuss that tomorrow in class. Letter B, we are now looking at this as a discount. So go ahead and solve, hit pause. It says a CD that has a regular price of $15.50 is on sale at a 25% discount. Find the sale price of the CD. Method 1 simply states $15.50 times my 25%, so 0.25, which $15.50 times 0.25 equals $3.88, and we take my $15.50 at, whoops, sorry, we're not adding, we are subtracting, because it is a discount, $3.88, which equals $11.62. Or you can use method 2, which again is finding out what we got our $15.50, and we're going to multiply it by what. Well, you're going to take 100% minus my 25%. Okay, that's my 75%, because that's what I'm actually paying for that product. Okay, it's 75% of that. Okay, we're taking away that 25% discount. Okay, so since it's 75%, we've got to put a decimal point in here to make it 0.75, and when you do that and you multiply $15.50 times 0.75, you do get $11.62. Okay, take note on that and see me if you have questions. All right, now it's a cell phone is on sale for 30% off. Find the original price if the sale price of the phone is $205.50. Go ahead and hit pause. Again, remember you are trying to find the original price. All right. So what you need to do, since we are trying to find the original price and it is 30% off, then we can write an equation for this to where P equals the original price times 30% to equal, and it's equaling the discount. Okay. Well, we don't know what the discount is. It's 30% off of something. So $205.50, that's what we do know. So setting it up in this manner is not what we are looking for, because we don't know what the discount is. We can't set it equal to that. It makes it a little more difficult. So we have to approach this actually using method 2 is probably going to be the best approach. So we can set P as the original price times, we're going to make it equal to $205.50, since we do know what the ending price is. Okay, we don't know what the discount is, we know what the ending price is. like we do in method 2 when we just simply take P times the difference, which is 30% minus 100 to get my 70%. Okay, so we're actually going to multiply this by 70%, which is 0.70. And if you, again, looking, we're going to scratch this out because we can't use this. Looking at this equation now and looking back up here, I think you can see why we are setting this equation up the way we did. P again meaning the original price, and 70%, because if we take the price times 70%, that will equal what we're actually going to pay. That's exactly what you did in those other problems where you had, actually this last problem, it's doing this right here, method 2. Okay, taking $15.50, that's the original price, that's what we don't know, times the percent of actually what you're going to pay, because the discount we do know, but you're paying 75% of that number to get the actual price. Well, that's what we're doing on this over here. You're going to be taking the original price times what you're actually paying of it. Okay, so 70% of the original price is going to give me the actual amount. Now, to solve this equation, you're going to simply divide both sides by the number that's with the variable, 0.70, and then you get P equals 205.5 divided by 0.70, and you get a grand total of $293.57. Okay? Setting it up as an equation is one of the methods. There are other ways of solving this. If you did it differently and you got the same answer, then please bring that to class tomorrow and share that with the class, and we'll discuss that there are other ways of solving it. The reason I showed you this method is because we are trying to get you to use an equation to solve many of these story problems. So that's why I did it in that manner. Okay? But bring yours if you've got a different way of doing it and share. We'd love to see it. And again, there are other ways. So hope you have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.